So here is lesson 15 from module 5. And the key here is that they're having you draw two rectangles. So for 1/2, here's a half, and we've got this rectangle, and our initial line was here to show a half, right? I'm gonna shade a half. And then the one below is 2/3. So they've done this with the 2/3. And I'll shade that one the 2/3, right? And then the thing they do is you overlap the two rectangles. So this top rectangle that showed a half, that's this dotted line. They're saying now you can see the half. And on the top, they've got these lines which match the 2/3 below. And when you do that, each one of these rectangles, like this rectangle, is the same as this rectangle. So now we can compare them, and we can see that there are 3 out of the 6 here, and that's where they got this fraction. And there are 4 out of the 6 here, and that's how they got this fraction. So that's how they're getting their pictures. And then of course they did the multiplication with the 3/3 and the 2/2 to show you that we can also get those equivalent fractions the same way. So for all these, we are working on getting the same denominator. So we have same size pieces, and then we can just compare how many pieces by comparing the numerators. So on B, we've got 4/5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 5 there, and 3/4, 1, 2, 3 of them there. And I'm going to label this. This one was 4/5, and this one was 3/4, is 3/4. So our dots, our dotted lines, just match up. So for this top rectangle, I'm looking at where these lines here, we've got 3 lines to make 4 sections. So we're just doing that. So now these dotted lines on the top one match the solid lines here. And for this bottom one, we're gonna do dotted lines that match the top. And now I've got same size pieces. And this is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 out of 20. And this one became 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 out of, again, 20. And we should do our multiplication in here. So this is times 4/4 would equal 16/20, and this is times 5/5 would equal 15/20. And now that we've done that, we can see that there are 16 of the pieces on the top and only 15 on the bottom rectangle. So 16/20 is more, and 16/20 is the same as 4/5. So we put our greater than symbol there. So for C through F, I went ahead and drew all the pictures before I started recording so that you wouldn't have to sit and watch while I did it. But the key is that one of my rectangles has the vertical lines, and one of them has the horizontal lines, so that then I can do the opposite. So I already shaded in 3/5, and I'm going to take the 3/5 and draw these lines across now to have them match. So I need to make 7ths up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And down below, I need to make 5ths. And I guess I should be drawing dotted lines, but I've changed my color. Okay, so now I can, I've got a picture that shows it, and over here what I've shown with my picture is that 3/5 times 7/7 is 21/35, And that 4/7 times 5/5 equals 20 35ths. So we only have, these pieces are awfully close to the same. We've got one more piece up here. So 3/5 is just a wee bit more. So for D, I'm going to match these lines. And I'm going to match the lines up above. I need to make 7th again. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this has made, since I made 6 rows or columns the other way, that's why it's 6/6. 18/42, and this one I did 7 the opposite way, so 7/7. 14/42. 18 is a little bit more, so 3/7 is more. 4 5/8 and 6/9. I'm gonna draw in my opposite lines here. So they're matching up, and this way I'm going to make other way. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9/9 makes 45/72, and 8/8 makes 48/72, so 3 more 70-seconds. So 48 is just a little bit bigger. So 6/9 is more than 5/8. With 2/3, I'm gonna make my opposite lines. Well, less lines on this one, that makes it easier. And so I've got 2/3 times 4/4 equals 8/12. This one equals 9/12. So 1 more 12ths for 3/4, so 3/4 is just a little bigger than 2/3. Number 2, it just says using multiplication, so we don't have to draw the pictures. The pictures are nice to be able to see what's happening, but as you can tell, drawing those pictures is kind of a pain. So the key is to make a common denominator, and it always works to use the denominator from the other problem, because 5 times 6 is going to be 30, and 6 times 5 is also going to be 30. So if you're not sure what to multiply by, look at the denominator of the other fraction. So that gives us 18/30 and 25/30. So 25/30 is more than 18/30, which makes 5/6 bigger. Okay, now this one I could do 6 times 8, but I know I can get to a common denominator with a lower number, so I'm going to do it. I know that 6 times 4 is 24, and 8 times 3 is 24. Working with fractions, it really helps to know your multiplication, your times tables. Okay, 16/24 is way bigger than 9/24. Wait a second, I've made a mistake. Did you catch it? 2 times 4 is not 16. It's 8. And so that means 8 is less than 9. So it's actually the 2/6 that is a little bit smaller. Okay, 7/5 and 8/10. Over 8 and 5/5. So 56/40. These are improper fractions, but it doesn't matter. As long as we have the same denominator, we can still compare them. 50/40. 56 is more than 50. So 7/5 is more than 10/8. And the last one, 4/3 and 6/5. Over 5 and 3 over 3. So we've got 20/15 and 18/15. 20/15 is just a little bit more. So number 3 says use any method. So I did draw the picture for one of them at least. So of course we would have to make this one be 8ths the other way. Let's see, that makes 4ths. And that would make 8ths. And this one we need to make 4ths the other way. So the deal is that now we have the same exact grid on both, right? And when we did 3/4 on this one, whoops, that was not the right tool. 3/4 and 7 of those 8. Now it looks to me from this that 7/8 is more. And for this one, I don't need to multiply them both, even though this big thing has got something like, what, 30 seconds in there. I could just do 2 over 2 for this one and make 6/8 and say 7/8 is one more 8th. But from the picture, we think 7/8 is more as well. For B, let's just do the multiplication. And the reason I'm choosing 5/5 and 8/8 is because I am just matching the opposite fraction. 30/40 and 24/40. 30/40 is a little bit more. This is one where I can do 4 times 6, but I could get a smaller common denominator by using, let's see, 3 over 3 would give me 18/12, and 2 over 2 would give me 12ths. 16/12, and 18 is more than 16. 8/5 of 9/6. I think I'm going to have to do the opposite denominators on this one. 48/30 and 45/30. 48 is just a little bit more. Okay, last one. Explain 2 ways you've learned to compare fractions. Provide evidence using words, pictures, or numbers. So really we have to give an example. It's up to you what example you're gonna do. I'm gonna just do an easy one here. So let's see, I want to compare 2/3 and 3/4. Okay, so one way is to draw the pictures and compare them. So I can make this one be 2/3 and this one be 3/4. So 2/3 and 3/4. And then I make lines in the opposite directions so that I have same size pieces. Notice that all the pieces in both boxes are the same size now, and I can count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those pieces. So 3/4 is more. The other way I can do it is by multiplication. And I want a common denominator. 8/12 and 9/12, which is the same thing as what our picture showed too. But it still shows us that 3/4 is more, so this still works. All right, there is lesson 15.